So then, today we're going to be breaking down gold. Now, gold hasn't been in the news much recently. No one has really been talking about gold, which I always think when no one's talking about it, it's time to really pay attention because probably everyone's been chasing AI stocks, memory stocks, chips, whatever they are. This is the time, in my opinion, to really be paying attention when it comes to gold. So we just take that on there. So gold from its high there to its low there, a 30% drop for the most expensive or the largest asset in the world, which is pretty crazy. So in this video, I'm going to break down what I'm going to be looking for gold, where I think it's going in the short and the long term. So you could argue a 30% decline in gold, no matter what is happening in the world, is always a good time to accumulate, which I think is also a great argument, or you could maybe argue this was a bit of a blow off top. So, we maybe wanted to go slightly lower, maybe below 4K. What I'm going to be looking for is, if we just put on that, for me, a good way to indicate the start of a trend is a 200-day moving average reclaim. Always a good way just to frame the start. I don't think retests and holds are good because you just don't get them that much. As you can see here, we didn't really get one until there. But look, start of the trend. A retest, I'd be maybe looking at some other things which we'll get into detail later. But a close above that 200-day moving average, such an easy bull and bear line to have when it comes to anything when you're charting an asset. So for me, okay, cool. Above the 200-day EMA, that's great. It's a great indicator for strength. It's not a reclaim thing, in my opinion. It's a great starter. And yeah, as I mentioned, no one's talking about gold. And these are typically good signs. When people are chasing other things, gold goes under the radar. I'm actually seeing more online about Bitcoin dropping than gold, which I think is actually quite funny. And maybe that's the sign of the times that the brand Bitcoin is maybe bigger than the brand gold when it comes to the social media era that we're currently living in. So just got some notes here as well if you see me staring down here. So look, long term, I believe gold goes up and to the right. So gold, if we just go out, it is one of the fiat debasement trades, and I think gold, it just continues. But what we could see with gold now after a huge run up is just nothing for a while. That's like 10 years. I won't be surprised if we see that. We see a nice, kind of a rounded out bottom, and then we kind of come back here and then we go again. That wouldn't surprise me at all. But then again, you've got stuff I was reading the other day that China accumulating gold like they've never accumulated before. So you could argue it could be a quicker dip before it goes again. Who knows? That's something to consider as well. Another thing that I would be looking for is a 12-21 weekly moving average crossover. These typically are a really good thing to have. You can do a 10 or a 20 or something similar, but these typically, when these cross, it runs. You can see it cross there. Would have been a great trade. So look, the main story really for gold right now is patience. You've just got to be patient with it. It's going to struggle, I think, in the short term to get back up here anytime soon, unless there's a major catalyst or something. But ultimately, I would be patient. I'd be looking for these things, and if you want to accumulate gold for the long term, a 30% decline from the highs, or from that wick, you can say that, say whatever you want, but that on any asset is typically good if you believe it's going to go up into the right. So long-term accumulation zone, I believe this is a good one because of that 30% drop. If you want to be more active and trade it, and you want to trade the momentum on it, because gold, as you can see, if we kind of zoom out, is a bit of a momentum asset. Look, moves, doesn't moves, moves. And are we in a doesn't move period? Who knows? Moves, doesn't move, drops. So if okay, cool, I want to own gold on a momentum perspective, then I'd be waiting for these to cross, 200-day moving average reclaim. We've also got, a monthly pivot here. Again, I'll be looking for, let's say in the short term, a close above here this month. Okay, cool, we could see a little run there. That's more of a shorter term thing. Typically when we close above a monthly pivot, we have a little run. So they're just a couple of things I'll be looking for on gold. If you want to get an insight into how I'm going to be analysing gold in the long term, if you want to keep up with it, if you can't be asked to watch it yourself, I do have a free newsletter. Please do check that out. Link to that will be in the description. And I'll see you in the next one.